I want to talk to us about making up our mind to follow Jesus, devoting ourselves to the things of God. Elijah said to the people, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If Baal is Baal, go and serve Baal. If God is God, serve him." Joshua said to the people, "How long would you waver between two opinions? Choose you this day whom you will serve. Is it the gods that your fathers served beyond the Euphrates? We want to serve Jehovah. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Sometimes children of God, they find themselves so caught up between serving God and having pleasure in this world. The pleasures of this world, honey, is very toxic. Very toxic. We don't even know how bad it is until you get your deliverance. When you're in darkness, you don't see, so you just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But the day you experience your deliverance and you come to the light, you find out that there was no pleasure anyway. It was just shame and pain. Shame and pain is all you got out of that life. The Lord reminded us of Lot's wife. Lot's wife, you have been delivered. Keep on moving. Keep on going. Do not look back to what you have been delivered from. What is behind you is destruction. What is behind you is death. What is behind you is no pleasure at all. It's pretense. It's toxic. It's the enemy's realm. Make up your mind. Take up your course. Follow Jesus, beloved. That's the only thing that's going to ever last you. All those things we're chasing after, you can drop dead tomorrow, any day, you and I. Who told you your tomorrow is guaranteed? You leave it all behind and you go and you stand before your Maker. Don't put nothing above Jesus. Don't put nothing above Jesus. I'm telling you, these days that we are living, it's not worth it. We must make room for Jesus, and he must be our priority. He must be on top of that list. The songwriter said, "I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. I have made up my mind to follow Jesus." I don't know about you, but I have made up my mind to follow Jesus. I have made up my mind to follow Jesus. I say no turning back, no turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back. You don't have time. Many times, people in their 20s, they just waste time, in 30s. Some few people are committed at a young age. But as you're getting older, my dear, we need to sober up. You don't have much time. If you start getting serious with God in your 30s and your 40s, you don't have much time, man. Just get to work. Make up your mind. Drop all those funny things that we're holding on to. They're not worth it. Jesus said, "He who is not willing to forsake father and mother, sister, whatever, even your own self, to follow me is not worthy of me." In this season, don't put nothing above the Lord. One thing I will tell you is that he's the one that's always gonna be there. You can count on the Lord, and you can count on anyone else, and you can even count on yourself. You can always count on the Lord. When He tells you, He will never leave you, He will never forsake you, that's guaranteed. His name is faithful and true. That's His name. Faithful and true. That's His name. Even when we forsake Him, He does not forsake Himself, because what? He is faithful. That is His character. That is who He is. That is His person. He is faithful and true. Everything else people put before God, all those ones, you can lose. You can lose children. You can lose spouse, husband. You can lose wife. You can lose things. You can lose possession. You can lose all of that. You didn't come into the world with all of that. Those are just extras that the Lord add to our lives. None of them should be above God. God gives people families, marriages. They just lose sight of God, and all they care about is that thing. Those things have become idol. Do not worship an idol. Your wife, your children, your husband, your marriage. So what happened in the day of adversity? Because it will come. The Lord tells us about the wise builder and the foolish builder. When the storm came, say when the storm comes. It's not about if, the storm will come. And it hit on the wise builder and the foolish builder. The one whose house was built on the sand, everything sank. Because you're building on your family, you're building on your marriage, you're building on your children, you're building on your business, you're building on your academics, you're building. It's not that you don't need all those things, but you need balance. And you need to put things in their proper order. God first. And then all these other things. But people get so busy with their life. The cares of this world and the deceitfulness of wealth has made people lose their way in God. Cares of this life. Make the choice to take up your cross and to follow Jesus. He's worth it. You can lose all in this world, but the Lord will always be there. Even in death, He's the only one that's going to be in that grave. I'm telling you, drop dead any one of us today. Some people, once they take you to that cemetery and they leave you there, that's it, they're gone and forever. They delete you in their mind. These people you're fighting for, they don't even ever, every time they think about cemetery, they think about fear. So they mind their business. You're deleted off their mind. But Jesus is going to be there in the grave. Even in the grave, Jesus is Lord. Even in death, Jesus is there. So my soul, magnify the Lord. My spirits, please praise His name. Death will not hold me captive, for even in death, Jesus is Lord. Even in death, Jesus is Lord. In death, He's there. He's never leaving. All else will fail, but I'm telling you, Jesus never failed me, oh. This is a song we used to sing in Sierra Leone in Africa. I said, Jesus never fails me, oh. Jesus never fails me, oh. You mama go fail you, but Jesus not go fail you. Papa go fail you, Jesus not go fail. I say you husband go fail you, Jesus not go fail. You pikin them go fail you, Jesus not go fail you. Presidents go fail you, Jesus not go fail. I say you money go fail you, but Jesus not go fail. All you sababu go fail you, but Jesus not go fail. Jesus not go fail you. Hey. I say, Jesus not go fail you. Jesus not go fail. Jesus will not fail you. All else will fail. You will even fail yourself. But Jesus, He's faithful, He's true. He's the way, He's the truth. Truth is not a philosophy. You don't have your truth, I don't have the truth, that person have the truth. Truth is a person, His name is Jesus. When we come to Him, we'll know the truth. We'll know Him. And that truth will liberate us. So I'm telling you, this year we need to make time for the Lord. We need to make time. Honestly, we need to make time for God. Because just going in our own direction is not really helping us. We need to make time. That's the only thing that counts at the end of the day. He's the only guarantee. He's the only one that's always going to be there. I'm telling you. I've worked with people for a long time in my life. I've dealt with people, human relations, human connectivity, human dealings, human business. You know, sick people, hospital. I've seen people feel forsaken. I've seen life happen to people. Everything you ever worked for, you lose. Where would you find your strength? Where would you find peace? It is in Christ. What is in the world that you're chasing? It's a joke. You don't have time. This year, make up your mind. Decide to pick up your course and say, goodbye, world. I stay no longer with you. Goodbye, pleasures of sin. I stay no longer with you. I have made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I've made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I say goodbye, world, worldliness. I stay no longer with you. Goodbye, pleasures of sin. I stay no longer with you. I have made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. I've made up my mind to go God's way the rest of my life. Life will happen. Man, it is only in God that we'll find peace and we'll find assurance and we'll keep on going. He's the fuel. He's the oxygen of life. Make time. Life will hit you. Life hit everybody. The Lord said, when the storm came, he hit the wise man's house. He hit the foolish man's house. The foolish man built everything on their own strength, on their own power, on their own life, on their own family, on their own possessions, on their own thing. This is the foolish man. But also, even the wise man, the storm. In other words, everybody will go through. Just because you're a righteous person on the land, just because you're a Christian, doesn't mean things are not going to hit you. But what is going to keep you going when it's all said and done? What is going to make you to still be standing? It's because you're in Christ Jesus. So cultivate that relationship with Jesus. Cultivate your relationship with God. Invest time in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Desire to have a good and healthy relationship with Jesus. Have a friendship relationship because he has offered it unto us that we can be his friends if we do what he tells us. Let us cultivate our relationship with God. Intimacy with God. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have made up my mind to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No going back, no turning back. Yes. Make time for prayer. Make time for the secret place. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High will rest under the shadow. Make time for the secret place. The secret place is where you and your Maker, you meet together. Yes. Make up your mind. Take up this course. Follow Jesus. Know his will for your life. We must know his will. Paul said, it is foolish not to know the will of the Lord for our life. That our minds are to be filled with the knowledge of God's will for our life. Why did God send you on this earth? Many of us have been so distracted for so long. It's like going on a journey. And you stop somewhere and you build a family and stuff. And you're supposed to be going through that journey. You have stopped. No, we're doing all the wrong things with all the wrong people. Just planning your own life on the sideline. God is saying, hey, you got X amount of more years left. Are you going to go along? You may not be able to finish your race, but can you get on board and start doing your work that you were sent here to do? Because at the end of the day, that is what God is going to hold us accountable for. I'm telling you, at the end of it all, that is it. So I just want to draw all of our attention today, this year. You know, there's a very interesting passage in the book of Luke 10 where Jesus was in Bethany with Mary and her sister Martha. In Luke chapter 10, it says, verse 38, it says, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to them. She had also a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted, cumbered. King James called it cumbered. It's many loads of care. You know, the songwriter told us about what a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and grief he bears. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. Oh, because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Another line say, another line of the songwriter say, he said, cumbered with a load of care. In other words, we have taken so much baggage, carrying it on ourselves. That's what is making people so weak and distracted. I'm telling you, we are so distracted today from the things of God. Cumbered with loads of care. Cast those cares upon the Lord. Distraction. The enemy has released weapons of mass distraction. We are so distracted. Distractions everywhere. Social media that's supposed to bless us has become a curse to some people because they can't even focus no more. Every minute alert. So let us be disciplined. Make time for God. Make time for prayer. Make time. Use your social media outlets to lift Jesus. Lift Jesus higher. Lift Jesus high for the world to see. Just lift him up in your social media outlets. Every time you are speaking, every time you lift him up and make sure you have a balance in that. You're not going to do that so many hours of the day. You should have time to just say, enough is enough. Enough for me to spend one-on-one time with the Lord. Like Mary did. Martha was very busy, cumbered with a load of care. Yeah, but Martha was distracted. I like the way this other version say. King James say, Martha was cumbered with so much care. This other version here say, Martha was distracted. We have so many Marthas today. Brother Martha, Sister Martha, Youth Martha. That's freedom Martha. Distracted, busy, caught up, just always working, no time. Martha is not going to sleep if there's dirty dishes in the sink. Martha is not going to rest if there is dirty clothes somewhere laying there. Martha is not going to rest if there is just things here that's supposed to be done that's not done yet. Martha has no rest in her soul. Even when church is going on, when the preacher is preaching, Martha has to go to the backside and make sure things are the way they are. After all, church is going to finish. People are going to come in to get refreshments, so everything has to be done. Martha is too distracted with too many things. So there's that category of those that are already in, but they are Marthas. And there are those categories of those that are totally outside. They're not even ready yet. So this year, let us make time to be intimate to the Lord, to be close to him, to hear the heartbeat of the Father. The harvest is plenty. Laborers are too few. So please, Marthas, come on, let's get to work. But Martha was so distracted by all the preparation that had to be made. She came to Jesus. And Martha is very bold. She don't care. She's just going to go confront Jesus. Because she knows if Jesus will talk to Mary, Mary will probably listen. You know, Mary and Martha are sisters. So she thinks Mary is taking her for granted. But if she goes to the proper authorities, maybe Mary will respond. You know, Marthas are bold. You know, they are always bold in the church. They ain't playing. They ain't scared of nobody. So let me go and talk to Jesus and see. Jesus is going to fix the situation. But the response that Jesus gave is the breaker. Is the deal breaker. That's it. That's what holds the whole conversation here. It said, and then it said, by all preparation, she came to Jesus and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? I'm not sure, Martha, if you were the only one in that kitchen. You just think Mary should be there with you. You know, Marthas are like that. Marthas, they can be very dramatic. She could have other helpers there, but as far as she is concerned, Mary should not be idle at that time. Mary should not be sitting there. Mary should be part of the work, right here where we are working. So, acting like Jesus doesn't know everything, acting like Jesus don't know that there are other people there. She went there to Jesus with her drama. Don't you care that my sister has left me to do all this work all by myself? Well, you want to do it all by yourself, so go right on. It's no time for me. When I'm ready, I'm going to come. And then she said to Jesus, tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are so worried and upset about so many things. So worried, so upset about too many things. Martha, you are cumbered with too much load of care. Martha, you're too distracted. Martha, you lack focus. Martha, just relax. You don't know how to be still. Martha, know when to be still. Martha, just learn to relax. Take a breath of fresh air. You come to that later. Food is not Jesus' problem. He always tells us. Don't you know that food is not his problem? He was saying a parable about the Pharisees, about the yeast, and the disciples were thinking that, we didn't bring enough food. Jesus said, don't you know by now, food is not my problem. He was also talking with the woman at the well. He said, no one has brought you food yet. So he said, you people, food is not my problem. Martha. Food is not the problem. Let that food wait. Come in here. Make time to listen. Give God quality time. This year, make quality time for God. Don't sit there and 10,000 things pop in your head. Oh, the children, they don't have this yet. Or I have to run and go grab this. Oh, this one. It's your mind. You got to train your mind to shut up. Tell your mind, shut up. When you're in the secret place, when you're sitting down to study, thoughts come in your mind. You say, I will guide you later. Use the devil as a memo pad because it's going to bring all those thoughts to you. Say, okay. And you're idle. I got something for you. I'll write it down. I'll deal with that later. You're not going to turn me into Martha. I'm a Mary. I know when to be calm. So, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried, upset about so many things, but few things really are needed. Indeed, only one. Verse 42, but few things are really needed, Martha. And indeed, only one. Only one. Relationship with God. Relationship with Jesus. He said, few things matter. Indeed, among those few things, there's only one that is of the utmost priority, is your relationship with God. Putting things in their proper order is your relationship with God. So that's where we should be as Christians, making quality time with God. Mary has chosen what is better. And it will not be taken away from her. Nobody will take that from Martha, her relationship with God. Who is going to take it? Nobody. No devil. So, beloved, we want to just make up our minds. We want to just ask God to help us to dedicate our lives, commit ourselves to the Lord, and just say, God, help me. One of the greatest prayers that I've always loved in the Bible is what Paul says. It's not really a prayer, but it was just a word that he said, writing to the Philippians. He said that I may know him and the power of his resurrection. I think that's what counts above all. I just want to know the Lord. This is the only thing that lasts forever. This is eternity right there we're talking about. I want to know him and the power of his resurrection and be willing to share in his suffering. That's what matters. That's what counts. He's the only one that's always going to be there. In death, in life, in the world to come. Why don't you cultivate and hold tight to that above all? Do you need all this order? Yes, you need it, but put things in their proper order, in their proper context. Few things really are needed. Mary has chosen the best, and no one would take it from her. So, beloved, commit yourself, devote yourself, give yourself, give your heart to the Lord. Come to the house of the Lord, serve the Lord, attend Bible studies. Give your Sundays to the Lord. Don't get caught up with life. I'm going to this marriage. I'm going to this person's this. I'm going to that. All these people you're killing yourself for. When something happens to you, you drop sick, they won't even have time for you. They even kill yourself for your children. No, you take care of your children. You do the best you can. But Jesus must be a priority. Don't make them an idol. Do not worship her. Do not make them an idol. Because something happens to them and you don't have Jesus, guess what? You're crumbling. Don't put nothing before God. Don't put friends before God. Who are they? So feeble. Anytime they can change their mind on you. They can betray you. Anytime. Those are the ones you're going to put ahead of God. This year, make up your mind, take up your course and follow Jesus. That's the only thing I count. If anything will happen to you today, you know that you are at peace with Jesus. You know that you did your best as a Christian. You gave your life to Jesus, committed yourself to Jesus. And don't think tomorrow is 100% guaranteed to you. The Lord did not tell you when he's going to come. He said he's going to come like a thief. At your door. Behold, he stands at the door knocking. If anyone is willing and open their heart, will come in. What if it's your own? Suddenly it's going to come to you today. People are saying, oh, they said Jesus has been coming forever. Well, Jesus is coming or you going to go? Jesus is going to come for sure. But also know that you too will go for sure. Do you know when? Make up your mind. Make Jesus a priority. Give your whole self, not your wife, not your husband, not your children, not yourself, not your life, not your friends. Jesus should take first place in your life. Your marriage will fail. Your husband will fail. Your wife will fail. Even if they're not here, death may take them. They can divorce you. Jesus is the everlasting friend, is the everlasting husband that is always going to be there. In the rain, in the heat, through thick and thin, Jesus will always be there. So make time for him. God bless you.